Hi, thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. My name is Elisa Henry, and up next we have Lisa Gay Nichols. Your book is called Crazy Little Thing Called Teens, The Mom's Guide to Stopping the Conflict and Bringing Peace to Your Home. Hi, Lisa, how are you?
Hi, Elisa. Great. How about yourself?
Well, I've got my three nieces staying with us for a couple of weeks, and they're all teens. So this is very interesting just to hear the things that you had to say about teen life. And I am a mom. My son is 3, so I'm not in the teen world yet, but some of the things you said seem to apply even when teenagers are just visiting. So, so let's talk about your book. You talked about emotional freedom techniques, EFT. So tell us what that is.
Emotional freedom techniques is also called tapping, and it's a tool or a modality that I use to help moms and dads. I do work with dads, but I focus mostly on moms, and I'll tell you why in just a second.
Okay.
But EFT is a modality that is really very effective at helping people remove emotional blocks or charges, and also kind of limiting beliefs or things that you believe about yourself, your world, about parenting, about your children that don't support or really serve you as the parent of a teenager. And the reason I'll go back to the reason I work with moms is because when your teenagers are acting out, it's usually the moms who bear the brunt of the anger, the rebellion, the disrespect. And if there is any violence, it's usually against the mom. So it's usually the moms are usually the ones that are still the primary caretakers of organizing the family life and the teens, getting them to their practices and everything that they normally do, not right now, of course. And so it's typically the mom, and the mom typically has like they've been a mom for so long, they're so connected into the idea of being a mom that when their teenager starts to individuate or separate out as they're programmed to do, it actually can be a lot harder on the mom a lot of times.
And before we get into exactly what is tapping, let's talk about your experience and why you decided to write this book.
Sure, yeah. I really could have used some help when I was going through the teenagerhood, especially of my son. We had a difficult time with him, a lot of struggles for years with him. And I truly believe if I'd had the tool and if I had a coach, a parenting coach, I'm a life coach that focuses on working with parents, it really could have helped me out so much. I think we could have gotten through that time easier, faster, better, way less expensively. We did end up sending him away to residential therapeutic school. There was just a lot that went into that, and that's now I want to help parents, moms, and dads who are struggling not just with out of control teens, but just teenagers in general. It's just it can be, teenagers don't have to be out of control to be frustrating and irritating and overwhelmingly awful, sometimes. So yeah.
So let's talk about tapping. I love the nap example. Like when I read your book, the nap example helped. How you were saying how your kid goes out for a nap and like you could have been doing laundry and like that, or even the taking out the trash example. Like you come home from work and your teenager is supposed to have taken out the trash and they didn't. So explain tapping. If you can use that example or use a different example, but explain tapping to us.
Okay, one of the things that happens with moms and teens is they get into this constant kind of ongoing battle. Like I've told you it a million times, take out the trash before I get home from work, right? And so if it depends on how the mom wants to feel about that and what they believe about that. So if they can do some tapping, they can tap through their frustration, the feeling of not being heard, the beliefs about their teens, like, oh, my teen is so lazy, I don't know how they're ever going to get a good job. All that kind of stuff. They can tap through what they're feeling and believing about the situation, so that then when they come back to work with their teen, they're coming from a whole different place. A lot of times it's our energy that we put into this that then the teen is reacting to. And if you can get to a place basically of neutrality and be able to deal with that, then they don't have anything to react to.
Mm-hmm.
And so tapping is really great at like I said, at removing those emotional charges and beliefs. Like let's say that you think that them not taking out the trash is disrespecting you, and that and you were raised in a way that your children should never disrespect you. Well, you can tap through how that belief was formed and get to a point where you can look at that belief. Does it serve me? Is it serving me in this relationship with my teenager right now? Is there a different way I can look at this kind of situation?
And when you're saying tapping, you really mean like you're like tapping. So
Yep.
I don't know if you, we don't want to give away what they can learn in the book, but maybe show us a little bit of what that looks like.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We always start with a setup statement. The setup statement is, even though I am so frustrated with my teenager, I can't stand it that I came home again today and the trash still wasn't taken out, I deeply love and completely accept myself. So that's the only time you're tapping with the side of your hand. And then as you go other tapping points, and you're just saying little reminder phrases. I'm so frustrated. I can't believe it happened again. You know, and you're just tapping through. When is he ever going to listen to me? And so you're just going through a pattern of it's basically meridian points or energy points in your body.
So what's the benefit of, because I understand like saying these things, but tell me what's the connection between saying them while tapping at the same time?
Well, the amygdala, the limbic system, is a nonverbal part of your brain. And so you can talk at it all you want, and it's not going to hear you. So if you have some kind of emotion stuck in your amygdala, or some belief or some association of with your hippocampus, where the memories are and the feelings, the amygdala, it's really hard to get to that part of the body. And so by the tapping, somehow, truthfully, I don't know the scientific way that it works, but it works.
But it works.
Yeah, it just rewires those connections within the amygdala. And it's that whole fight, flight, freeze. It's especially the freeze reaction that you can have when you go into a traumatic experience or a frustrating experience. It helps to like release those things that you're holding on to. Did that explain it?
Yeah, very well. Yeah, that was very good explanation. Okay. And you talk about a lot in your book, and even just your experience on how, you tell parents that you help them let go of those beliefs, those emotional triggers, and it's not personal. Just a lot of things in that book that I think parents could really benefit from. So again, your book is called Crazy Little Thing Called Teens, The Mom's Guide to Stopping the Conflict and Bringing Peace to Your Home. And how can people find out more about you?
Well, lisagainichols.com is my website, but you can download the book for free at crazylittlethingcalledteens.com.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. Very informative. Thank you.
Yes, there are really two purposes of the work that I do with moms. The first is like what I talked about releasing triggers, emotional patterns that harm their relationship with their child. And by doing so, they get a lot more clear on what's going on, what they should do, because you get to see the situation from a different perspective. So then you get kind of new ideas, new energy for working with your teenager, for creating that peace in your home that you want. And the other one is just, it's just as important, is helping the moms go through those teen years that can be just so, like I was saying, so frustrating and so overwhelming. And just, so the work not only helps them kind of rekindle their love for their child, let go of outdated, unrealistic beliefs about parenting, and just kind of change that whole dynamic with their child. But whatever happens, they also can be calmer, freer, happier, just kind of not go through those teenage years stressed and uptight and overwhelmed. And it sounds crazy to some, but it's not necessary to be stressed and overwhelmed when you have a teenager in the house.
That's really comforting words. Thank you so much.